Okay, B'siyat D'Shmayim. Let's speak about an important topic that is on the minds and the hearts of many right now. Transhumanism. And why is that an important topic? Because it's something that is going on right now in the world. And there are pushes, essentially, to push people beyond human, transhuman. A lot of this is like merging with technology. You might say, in a certain way, we're already transhuman. Why is that? Because we're using electricity. We're speaking on a device. This is also technology. I've got glasses on. So maybe we already are transhuman. And therefore, the concept has to be sort of thought about in a mature way and broken down in a mature way. Is there maybe acceptable amounts of interface within the technological world, and then a certain level of interface with the technological world that's just going too far? Yeah, Yosef.
I would say it starts to become a problem when people start identifying the technology as an extension or a part of themselves. The phone, for example. A lot of people will respond to their phone buzzing or an alert from their phone as if it's like a bodily function. It's like their stomach rumbling or some sort of signal.
Phantom buzzing.
Yeah, phantom buzzing is a phenomenon where people think that they have their phone buzz or give them an alert when it doesn't actually happen. People can't leave their home or their room or anywhere without it. They also start freaking out. It's as if they
So I think this is what we spoke about yesterday. This is like the introduction of this topic, which is when we were speaking about the rat and holding on to the rat and trying to go into the mikveh. And when the guy's going into the mikveh and you're like, bro, you have a rat in your hands. It's not going to help to go into the mikveh if you have a rat. And he looks at you with like a bewildered look and he's like, what rat are you talking about? And you're like, bro, that thing on your hand, it's like, no, that's part of me. It's part of me, my beloved, my precious. So that's not okay. That's not okay. You're not the rat. So I could understand what that would be with something that is an avera, something that is a negative thing. Let's call it something which is a cheeseburger or theft. And that a person misidentified with that thing and he says, I'm a thief, or I eat treif, or I fill in the blank. Negative things. So I can understand where you would want to now remove that identification. But what about if it's something positive? What about having electricity? What about the printing press? Let's go back to simple. Is the printing press a bad thing? It's like innovation. Should you be afraid of that? They could print evil books. And those evil books could spread around the world. No more printing presses. Should that be the approach? The printing press was a major innovation, right? In the movement of knowledge, the movement of information. Think about what the printing press did to the world. It changed the face of information moving around the world had never been before. You know what it meant to get an idea to somebody? It defines them. Some papyrus. And you had to get, a quill, some ink. And this took time. And to handwrite things. So imagine you wrote some magnum opus. Well, how many copies of that magnum opus could exist? It's going to take you a long time just to produce another one. The printing press, almost instantly, you could take your worldview and now start pushing this on the mass. Now, it's not as quick as X, but it'll get there. It'll start making its rounds. So, is the printing press, was that helpful? Okay, so we're building this up one step at a time. Let's go, the printing press is being one step in this. Okay, what about telephones? Was telephones a positive innovation? It's nice. A person, Rosh Hashiva always speaks about that he had family members after the war that they would call each other and just to speak a little bit and spend time like giving each other a Chizzuk. I'm happy I can call my mother, who's in Canada, and send her words of love. So is the phone a bad thing? Okay, what about we go further? What about social media?
Just to the phone. With all the technology that you had mentioned before this, like people never identified it as an extension of themselves. But like the advent of like the iPhone, like even in the name iPhone, it's like people like see it as an extension of themselves. Like they identify with their phone.
It's true. Even though the power that the printing press brought meant that people became bigger, because even if it wasn't like you couldn't put a printing press in your pocket, but the concept of printing press was such that now my teachings can go around the world. So if somebody's an evil person, so he can now spread Mein Kampf all over the world. Now that's a problem. That's a problem. So there is an identification that the printing press is like furthering my agenda. It's innovation, it's helping me do something. And it's important to remember that what did the snake offer Adam? That if you eat from this tree, that you'll be like God. Which means you'll have a lot of power, a lot of influence. You'll be very powerful and you'll know everything. So we always have to be aware when there's a feeling of like great power and great influence, then you have to listen carefully. Is the snake involved?
Just to go back to, I guess, your story with the snake, if you look at the symbol on the back of your iPhone, it's the apple.
That's right. You got to be careful with it. So let's go on as technology is evolving. So now we have a situation where technology is not just evolving to a printing press and to electricity. Now we're talking about essentially robotics and very advanced computers that can compute and store information, can process information at an insane high speed. Does it not amaze you when you put in a simple prompt into ChatGPT, wherever else, whatever LLM you use, that literally immediately every detail more or less relevant, and it's only getting more by the second, immediately comes up? Is that not like, whoa, this is potent, this is powerful? So as computing power and as the machine and as is getting more and more advanced, so one of the transhuman visions is that why don't we just merge with them? Why don't we just merge? Now within this topic is going to be a big discussion, which we'll have to continue next week, which is also something that I want to get to regarding tshuva. Because what will happen to me? What is the me? So a lot of people think when they think of transhumanism, they're like, like Neo or something, where it's like, it's like kung fu, like, okay, got it. So most people are like, okay, that's cool, I can go for that. Or they think of some like Avengers superpower, like I'll have like in my glasses, I'll be able to, see things, and I'll be able to, fly or something, because you could do all sorts of stuff. Why can't you just add wings to the side and just open up the reckle and just start flying? You could do all sorts of stuff. And why don't we stop? Why do we even stop there? Why don't we put it, inside our brains? And maybe whenever I need to know something in Shas, I just kind of, peek over there, and it's all wired up. It's all neural linked. And maybe we'll even wire it up that it will administer pharmaceuticals to me and vaccines to me. Whenever there's an imbalance in the body, we'll just naturally know how to administer things. all the time. And maybe it'll even start changing my organs as needed and replenishing them, finding new ones. So I'm just like merging with this machine. So you can imagine where this could go. And these are big discussions. Like, this is really going on in major think tanks, talking about these topics. And they're not just talking, they're doing. So what we're discussing now, is this a good idea from a Torah perspective? And really, because we're getting closer to Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, I want to know if this is a good idea from a tshuva perspective. From a tshuva perspective. Because what is tshuva? Tshuva is coming back to who I am. So who am I? Who am I? Well, I think what's going to happen with transhumanism is what seems to be going on is people are losing touch with who they are. Now, you might claim to me that no, that is me. There's only one problem, is that a robot can't write you a Sefer Torah. Why not? So it's handwritten by a robot hand that looks mamish like a hand. It's not a hand.
The Torah was good enough to like this, and the AIs are just trained on what they already know. So you can't make anything like.
It's not intuitive. It can't build new thoughts. They claim that it's very intuitive, and it can understand things that were never even inputted into it. What about, let's say you want to have a shofar blown on Rosh Hashanah, and there's nobody in town that's good enough at blowing it, so they call this AI robot, and he is literally trained in the amount of breath that has to go out of the shofar, and the positioning, and it's a real ram's horn, and he puts it to his lips that feel very fleshy, just like the fake meat. You sort of tell the difference. Not that I'm into it or anything. And he puts the shofar to his lips, and he knows this is his big moment, and he blows tekiyas and shvarm truas. Are you yotzi in tekiyah shofar? Did you hear the shofar on Rosh Hashanah? Yeah?
I don't know the law. Like, I don't know if it actually has to be from a human being or the shofar. I would assume so.
It does. And if you want someone to make your tefillin for you, well, these robots will make you a pair of tefillin like you've never seen before. Crispy, fresh pair of phylacteries. Woo!
So,
Can you wear those tefillin? Can they do shchita, bris milah?
so as a humanoid like robot can't do these things, where do we draw the line in terms of, let's say there's a yid who starts to identify as a transhuman and takes on all these robotic extensions and modifies themselves using all different types of technology.
You think external things like limbs?
But not only that, let's say he plants chips in his brain, so puts it internally at that.
And what are the chips doing?
He's never shown us.
He has like a Neuralink chip in his brain.
And what's the Neuralink doing? Letting him play ping pong? I'm saying, what's the Neuralink doing? What is it doing? What's the Neuralink doing?
It's essentially like Google or ChatGPT without having to reach for your phone or your computer.
Okay, so it's a Neuralink that has a ChatGPT feature. So now in his brain, he just asks a question and he just sees everything.
His enhanced computing power.
Enhanced computing powers. So, to the cloud. Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot of exposure. Where really I want to go with this is, what will be left with that person when he goes up to heaven? Do you take the Neuralink ChatGPT with you? Well, ChatGPT is inputting all of the cloud of Torah into my consciousness, do I now have all of, like if Neo, that's like Neuralink, just like teach me, that's like a Neuralink. I'm in this loose bone basically. If that was Neuralink, so then, and let's say he decided to push one of the buttons called like Gemara, Baba Metzia. And now he comes to Shir and he's like, Toysfus, you think that's Pshat? Toysfus, Rashba's Kasham, Rabbi, you should have Neuralinked before Shir today. So does that guy take with him his Neuralink up to heaven? Does he take, let's say he comes to Shir and he goes a Pshat in a Pnei Yeshua. Does that Pnei Yeshua go to heaven with him?
First one is a market. Like Great Joseph, he had a market with an angel teaching Torah, and it's not like he steiged it up himself.
He still had to integrate the teachings that he was revealed things.
So does he get that?
That which he integrated, the Beis Yosef will take with him. Remember, he wrote a sefer on it. He wrote a sefer called the Magid Mesharim. He wrote a sefer. These are the things that I learned, which means he deeply thought about it. He integrated it. He processed it.